Hello, I think I'm recording now. So you should be looking at my screen. And what I'm going to attempt to show you today is how to build a chord progression in Soundtrap. So I'm already on the website in my profile, and we're going to go into the studio. So enter studio. Okay, so we are doing a music project. And the goal of this week, you've got a few more days, and then I'll put the rest of the project up on Monday, April 27th, is just to kind of play around with building chords on the digital piano in the program. So we're going to add a new track, and then piano and keyboards or synthesizer, you'll end up with the same sounds either way. So I'm going to go piano, but it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Piano, and we get two things across the bottom here. There's the instrument, and I can click over here to see the piano roll like you did in GarageBand. We're going to start with the instrument. And one of the things I can show you is we can change the sound. So this is where your different audio patches are. If I click where it says grand piano, we have all the different sets. And this is where you find your synthesizers if that's what you would have preferred. I've got my headphones in, sorry, I'll unplug those so you can actually hear what I'm doing. So we get a sample of the sound if you click on the arrow. I don't know if I like that. Definitely don't like that. Okay, let's try that. Phasing string machine. Why not? Okay, and now I've chosen my sound patch. We'll let that go. And down here you've got a visual of a piano keyboard. And you'll notice there are keys on your computer keyboard that match up with each of the notes. So whatever one you're clicking on, V, it'll tell you what note it is. So when you highlight, like if I hit V on the piano on the computer keyboard, it tells me it's an F on the piano. So what I'm going to do is make sure, first of all, that my click track is on. When you record, you should have headphones plugged in so that only you hear the click track. Although we're not using it, you know what, never mind, it probably doesn't matter with the MIDI because you're putting the sound directly into it. It's not actually picking up from the microphone, so it doesn't matter if you have headphones on for this particular exercise. So if you remember your lesson about major and minor chords, probably don't, so I'm going to go over it. Let's say I start on an F. Actually, I hate the sound. I'm going to go back to a piano because that's going to get annoying, and I can change the sound later. So let's just start with a straight up grand piano. Okay. It's nicer for when it's a held, sustained sound. Okay, so I've got F. If I want to make an F major chord, we're going to use semitones to help us. So a semitone is every little half step between keys on the keyboard. So for a major chord, it's going to be 4 plus 3. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I need to hit the N. And then plus 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's a comma that's in there. So if I press those 3 keys, that's an F major chord. So let's say I want to start with that. Right now I'm going to recommend just doing whole notes. So you'll record yourself, it'll count you in, and you're going to hold that chord that you've built for 4 beats. Okay, so while it was counting in, I got my fingers kind of in the right spots on the keyboard. Is this going to snap to grid? I want it to snap to grid. I don't remember where that button is. Oh, I bet it's this one. Yeah, there we go. That's the one. Okay, so the little magnet here, that's snap to grid or not. For you guys, that's going to be very, very handy. So make sure that this little magnet is highlighted. Okay, so I've got my first chord. If I go back to listen to it. Good. Okay, now let's pick something else. So I'm putting my playhead at bar number 2, and I need another chord. So let's try a minor chord next. minor chords are going to be 3 plus 4. So maybe let's start on the A. Okay, and then it's 3 plus 4. 1, 2, 3. And then 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Q. And that's a minor chord. Okay, I gotta remember where I need to put my fingers. Okay, so now I'm going to hit record again and record the next one. Okay, now what I'm doing is just trimming it back. So the same way that you did on GarageBand, if you hover your mouse kind of over the end of the region, that's the one I want. And I can drag it back and it'll snap to the end of the bar. So there, bar 3. Okay, moving the playhead back. All right, and I'll show you one other kind of chord. You can play chords that have 4 notes instead of 3. So maybe let's go down to a G for a starting point, and I'll go every other note up. So what is that? Let's try that one. Okay, is it on the right place spot? Yeah, okay, here we go. Okay, and I'll trim that back. Bring the playhead back to 4. I need one more chord. Let's use something with the black keys. So maybe I'll go up here, B flat, something really funky. Let's try that. Remember what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Okay, trim that back. Let's listen to the whole thing. Okay, I think I like the first 3, but maybe not the last one. Regardless, I'm going to highlight the whole. I'm going to highlight the whole section. Copy, Command C, or I forget what it is on a PC. Move the playhead to the next section, and then Command V. So I've got a repeated section. So it might change how you like the 4th chord depending how it goes back to the beginning of your chord progression. So whatever chord you have in bar number 1 is going to be the key of the song you're in. So I started with an F major chord, F, A, C, like that on the piano. So I'm playing this in the key of F major. Now I'm going to delete my copied version. And what I'm going to show you is the piano roll. So after you've kind of put in an initial try, what you can do is adjust your chords on the piano roll to see what sounds good. So I quite like the first 2, but maybe I'm going to play around with the 3rd one. Let's see what happens if it's a B flat instead of a B. So. Ooh. Okay, I still don't like the 4th chord, but I like that 3rd chord a lot better. So maybe, what if I change that? And maybe something like that. So we've got an F. What's this one? That might be kind of funky. Let's try it. Ooh, okay, I like that much better already. So this is what I want you to do, is put in some chords to start with. It doesn't really matter what they are. And then when you go into the piano roll, you can slide them around to where you want them. Every time you do something, make sure to click save frequently so that it doesn't get lost, especially when you're working on a web-based program like this. A couple more features, well, one more feature I'm going to show you of the piano roll is the pencil. So let's say I like this chord, but maybe I want to add a 4th note. Maybe it'll be the same one. And I can draw them in with the pencil. Let's try that. Ooh, I think I want this a little, maybe something like that. So it comes in a little bit later. Oh, I know where I want it. I want it on the and. So let's drag it back out there. Can I bring my playhead back to the beginning of that chord? Yeah, I like that. Okay, cool. And then it would go back to the beginning. So once I'm happy with my chord progression here, that's really when I can copy and paste a little more. So I'm going to zoom out. You can zoom in and out. I probably did that too quickly the first time, but when you want to look at the piano roll, you can switch it when you're looking at the instrument. You can double click on there as well, just like on GarageBand. And then it was down here that I can zoom out or in. Working on the piano roll, it's nice to zoom in a lot so that you can see all your little subdivisions here. Yeah, so you double click on the region and that's how you get to the piano roll or the instrument. I think you can also click on, let's see if I've made that go away. If I click here, nope. Double click on, oh God. So there's edit as well. Edit notes. Oh, and then it brings it up the thing. Okay, that's as much as I want to show you for today. Your goal for the rest of this week is to come up with a 4-chord progression that you like. Good luck.